Pompeii's famous Sappho fresco shows a Roman woman with a writing tablet, but there is no evidence she was the Greek poet Sappho. The painting dates to the 3rd quarter of the 1st century AD, when Roman portraits could signal education and status. Excavators recovered it at Pompeii on 17 May 1760. Her Roman tablet and stylus point to literacy, not poetic identity. A golden hairnet, large earrings, and tightly curled hair place her within mid-1st century Roman fashion. The name Sappho appeared much later through 19th century speculation. The fresco carries no identifying label and no surviving evidence connects this woman to the Greek poet. Modern scholars generally identify her instead as an educated upper-class Pompeian woman, though her personal name remains unknown. The portrait is displayed at the National Archaeological Museum in Naples, where viewers encounter a Roman image under a Greek poet's name. The speculative name gave the image lasting fame. The title remains influential, while the evidence stops with an educated Roman woman. The ependites began as a Persian man's tunic, yet classical Athens turned it into an exotic luxury overcoat worn mainly by women and children. A foreign male garment became a bright status piece. Ependites comes from ependeu, meaning to put on over. It was a broad wool or linen layer worn above the Greek chiton or above trousers in Persian dress. Athens added it over rather than replacing the ordinary tunic. Bright colors, broad embroidered borders, and geometric or floral patterns made the extra layer immediately visible. In Athens, decoration transformed imported clothing into a portable sign of wealth and foreign fashion. Attic images and festival references place it with women, children, performers, and ritual transitions. Theater costumes use the overcoat to suggest exotic characters. Some Athenian youth ceremonies also connected patterned clothing with a change of status. The same garment could mark Persian origin in one setting and elite Greek status in another. It was not preserved as clothing, its surviving record is visual and written, showing how an outer layer carried different meanings. At 13 or 14, Baldwin III won his first military success at Wadi Musa. Soon afterward, his mother limited his chances to win another. After his father died in 1143, Baldwin was crowned king alongside Melisende. He was a minor while she remained the kingdom's effective ruler. His coronation changed little. Melisende controlled the political machinery while Baldwin lacked an independent military role. At Wadi Musa, rebels had called in Muslim forces and seized the fortress. Baldwin cut down their olive trees, then offered pardons. The inhabitants accepted his rule and dismissed their allies. Later that year, Edessa came under siege. Melisende sent her own supporters with an army without involving Baldwin. The appeal for help had been addressed to Baldwin, but his mother answered through her trusted men. The city fell before that relief arrived. His Wadi Musa victory gave him a military reputation. His exclusion from Edessa limited its growth. The political conflict continued until Baldwin took sole rule in 1152 after a swift military action against his mother. The Amphion Society looked like an independent public company, yet it was designed to preserve the VOC's legal monopoly over raw opium. By 1628, the VOC taxed opium entering Java. During the 1640s, it shipped small consignments from Bengal to Batavia. VOC taxation, imports, and distribution had already centered the trade on Batavia, the company's main port on Java. By 1745, a separate structure promised tighter control. Its charter began in 1745 and was renewed several times through 1794. Most shares belonged to VOC members or people loyal to its interests, linking the society to the company without making it a formal subsidiary. From Batavia, official distribution reached Dutch-controlled areas across Java, Sumatra, Borneo, and the Malay Peninsula. The system turned one port's stock into a regional wholesale network. The society handled official wholesale distribution rather than every retail sale. But VOC employees and private traders also smuggled opium, creating fluctuations in supply and price. The monopoly organized official distribution, while contraband kept disrupting the control it was meant to secure. After the 1917 revolution, Moscow's Morozova mansion was nationalized, yet part of its owner's valuable art collection remained hidden inside until discovered years later. Completed in 1898 on Spiridonovka Street, the mansion was built for Zinaida Morozova and designed by architect Fyodor Shechtel. Mikhail Ryabushinsky acquired it in 1909 and remodeled the residence for paintings. Its neo-Gothic rooms were adapted around works by Russian and foreign artists, turning a private residence into a carefully arranged collection space. When Ryabushinsky emigrated, he split the collection. He gave part to the Tretiakov Gallery for safekeeping, then hid the rest inside the mansion while expecting a possible return. During redevelopment in the 1920s, workers found a hiding place behind a cabinet. Inside were paintings, a marble Rodin bust of Victor Hugo, and expensive Oriental porcelain. Paintings included works by Pavel Brylov, Vasily Trepinin, Valentin Serov, Mikhail Vrubel, and Ilya Repin. The mansion changed hands, but the paintings, Rodin bust, and porcelain survived as a physical record of Ryabushinsky's divided collection. USS Missouri was one of America's first steam warships. When fire destroyed it at Gibraltar, its only reported casualty was a pet bear. Commissioned in 1842, Missouri carried 10 guns and combined steam propulsion with sails arranged in a traditional multi-mast rig. In 1843, it anchored off Gibraltar after the Navy's first steam-powered Atlantic crossing. Engines, coal, guns, and sails shared one hull. While the ship lay anchored, spilled turpentine caught fire near the engineering spaces. Flames reached fuel and paint, then spread across the ship overnight. Sailors fought it with pumps, hoses, and bucket brigades, but the fire kept advancing. The captain judged firefighting futile and ordered the crew to abandon ship. Everyone escaped aboard nearby vessels, but Missouri remained burning in the harbor. The next morning, its forward magazine and onboard gunpowder store detonated and destroyed the ship. The crew salvaged records and valuables, but not the bear, frightened by the fire and unable to be removed. A warship built to modernize American naval power ended as a wreck with a pet bear as its only reported casualty. A flying ace became one of Spain's 3 joint interim leaders after Franco died in 1975. Ángel Salas Larrazábal held that role for just 2 days before Juan Carlos I became king. Salas was not a civilian official suddenly pulled from nowhere. He had moved through artillery, fighter aviation, military instruction, and diplomatic assignments. During the Civil War, he flew 618 combat missions according to the supplied account. By 1966, Salas was a lieutenant general, one of Spain's highest military ranks. In 1974, he joined the Regency Council as the longest-serving lieutenant general. That appointment placed him in the body designated for an interim succession. When Francisco Franco died on 20 November 1975, the arrangement became active. Salas shared interim leadership with Alejandro Rodríguez de Valcárcel and Archbishop Pedro Cantero Cuadrado. They jointly led Spain while the throne awaited its next occupant. The interval ended on 22 November when Juan Carlos I ascended to the throne. Salas' formal leadership therefore lasted exactly 2 days, ending when the next king took the throne. Mary Helena Fortune helped pioneer female detective fiction, while her surviving son, George, became a career criminal and spent more than 20 years in prison. Fortune wrote under several pseudonyms including Waif Wander and W.W. She contributed fiction, poetry, and journalism to the Australian Journal over decades. Her first known detective story was The Stolen Specimens. Her crime fiction drew on Melbourne streets and the goldfields settlements where she had lived. She examined violence, crimes against women, and police failures to address sexual violence. Her stories used colonial settings, making local institutions and social inequality part of the mystery. The Australian Journal published more than 500 of her short stories between 1868 and 1908. Her detective series remained in print across 4 decades, while later stories explored prisons and rehabilitation and their social consequences. Meanwhile, George's criminal career led to more than 20 years in prison. The record shows a striking family contrast, not evidence that his mother's fiction caused it.